my channel. It is Tuesday, so y'all know what that means. So today's topic is going to be about, as y'all read in the title, daddy issues. And I chose this topic because I feel like, I have experienced daddy issues. And I feel like a lot of girls do. Even if they dad in their life. Like, it depends on how your dad parent. Because your dad can be in your life and still not be a good dad. A mom too, but I'm not going to get into mommy issues because I don't have mommy issues. I have an awesome mom. So even if your daddy in your life, or he wants to go get the milk, or whatever he decided to do, I feel like a lot of girls be affected by it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what today's topic going to be. That's what we're going to get into. And I don't even think I want to break it up. I might have to stop y'all if I start crying. But I don't think I'm going to break it up in like, things, because it's really just like a whole collective idea. Like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, let's get into it. So first I got my heater on cold, y'all. So first I want to say, obviously, like with anything, a certain situation or a certain problem will affect everybody differently. Everybody, if you have daddy issues, if you are a young lady that have daddy issues, the way it affects you, it might not affect the other person. And I say that because, like, some people, like I said, some people have parents and, their fathers in their life and still experience daddy issues because of how their father went about raising them or being in their life. And then some people have daddy issues because they didn't have a dad, or the dad wasn't in their life. So it affects everybody differently. So, yeah. In my experience, I grew up with my father and my mother together until about 13 years old, and then he decided to have midlife crisis and go do what he wanted to do. But even when he was in my life, he was a good dad and supplying you of my needs, but like being there for this like extracurricular activities or just like side stuff, he wasn't really there. And him and my mama, they both had a business, so yeah, he was busy doing business stuff. But even my mama was able to show up to like my games and stuff like that. So he was there, and yeah, feeding me, making sure I had food on the table. I was spoiled to a certain extent. I had everything. I had a phone. I had a lot of stuff that a lot of people didn't have. So not saying that he wasn't there. He was there to take care of me, but he wasn't there 100%. Because I'm not gonna just bash him and be like, he wasn't there. He would come to some activities, some things. He'll be there sometimes. Until, like I said, I was about 13, and then he kind of really like disappeared. They split, and I chose my mama's side on my own. She didn't coerce me into anything. I chose her side because of the situation and what happened, and he was in the wrong. So that kind of split us up, and that was what, 4? I can't do math. 7? 6 years ago? 6 years ago. So, and that's when it kind of like started. And then now, even after the split, he was kind of in my life, but he wasn't. He was trying to like get through me to get to my mama, and that caused a whole other thing. And then now he's still alive, but he's really not in my life now because he's incarcerated. So yeah. And that's kind of just a quick little rundown of me and what's going on, what happened with my father. I love him, but I don't like him at times. Obviously, I want him to be out. I want to have some kind of relationship with him because I did have one when I was a little girl. But, when you start to grow up and you start seeing things for what it is, then it'd be like, I see you in a whole totally different lens now. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's kind of what happened. So, I will say, the daddy issues do affect, obviously, your relationship with men, obviously. Like, I feel like, and just kind of like relationships in general. But, definitely with men. I feel like when you have someone, especially the fathers that really abandon, their child, you grow up with a fear of abandonment. Like, you grow up hoping like whoever you with won't leave you. You get kind of like an anxious attachment to that person, just hoping they don't leave, trying to do whatever you can to make sure they don't leave. And I had that, but not to a certain extent. I definitely tell somebody to leave. So that's what I mean. Like, it affects everybody differently, but um, like, some people will respond to daddy issues with being distant with men, like emotionally unavailable. Can't have a relationship, can't get past a certain stage. They just can't do it because it's like, whether it's like, I don't trust you, or I don't feel like you're gonna stay, or whatever it is that put that void up. Some people have that, and then some people have like they overly attached, or like overly indulgent with men and stuff like that, and they need constant reassurance and constant validation, and just in it like in it to a certain extent. So yeah, for me, I was the one that was overly indulgent, and not in like sexual relationships or anything like that, but just overly indulgent. I was missing that male figure. I was missing my dad. He was gone. So it was like other, men or whatever, the guys, boys, whatever, you try to get them to fill that void. And that's kind of really just the gist of it all. Like, that's really what happened. I mean, I still find myself to this day, not sometimes, I find myself to this day needing reassurance, constant reassurance. Yeah, so just constantly needing that validation from a male figure, and that, reassurance from somebody. Like I said, even in my relationship now, I still be needing reassurance. Like, you love me. And it's not as bad as it was, but it's, well, not really hard, but oftentimes, ladies find it hard to be single. Like, they always gotta have somebody. They always gotta be with somebody. They can't be alone. They can't not be in a relationship or something like that. And that was me. Like, I always craved a relationship. I always craved being with somebody. Like, if I broke up with somebody, it'd take me long to find or talk to somebody else or something like that. Until I got to a certain, realization, like, oh, I need to find myself and heal and, be with myself. But like I said, it's levels to it. So it takes time to get to that mindset. So, when I was younger, I was always talking to somebody. I was always, talking to somebody. I just couldn't be single. I was always talking to somebody. You know what I mean? And like I said, majority of them was older than me. And it's just like I just keep repeating myself. It's just trying to fill that void. Because even, like I said, even after that, at that age, when he left, I was peaking. I was a freshman in high school. Like, that's the worst time to leave your teenage daughter in high school. Like, what? What are we talking about here? So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you were there when I was a little girl, when I was little. When he left, I was 13. So I just hit preteen, teenagers. So it's like, it's different when you raising a little girl, and then like you was there, but you wasn't, but you was, but you wasn't anyway, and then now you're not there at all, and it's like, and not trying to make no effort to be there either. He did his own thing, which is cool. You realize that that's not the life he wanted, which is fine, but it's like, dang, And because I chose my mama's side, it was kind of like, well, like a petty ego kind of thing. Like, well, you stay over there, I'll be over here, that kind of thing. Like, you chose her side. And it's like, that don't mean I don't want a relationship with you. So, yeah, that was just the worst time to do something like that when I'm about to go to high school. And like I said, I just was always talking to somebody. Always talking to somebody. 9 times out of 10, they was older than me, which was normal anyway, because I was the youngest one in my class in high school. But yeah, and then like I said, just becoming overindulgent. Like, I wasn't the type that became emotionally distant. I was the one that was seeking, seeking that relationship, seeking that missing factor in my life. And then, what that comes with the territory of getting with people that not on your level, or that don't deserve you, or that's unsuitable for you. So not only is you trying to fill a void, but you trying to not only is you trying to fill that void, but you like going after anything at that point, after anyone at that point. So it's like they're not even on your level, they don't even deserve you, they're not even suitable for your hand, you know what I'm saying? But you blind to that fact. Like, you just be blind to that fact, you know what I'm saying? So that comes with that territory, is getting with people that don't really deserve you, or getting with people that's not really on your level. But yeah, and then some ladies, when they be having that issues, they have like trust issues, or like they be real suspicious, or real jealous, or real clingy, or like I said, that anxious attachment. My trust issues didn't come from my dad though. They came from the relationships that I got into after he left. So the relationships and the people that I indulged into after he left. Because it's not like I had somebody to be like, to put me on game or nothing with my mama. But it's different than when your father is putting you on game, because he a man. So it's like, I didn't have nobody put me on game, nothing like that. So majority of my trust issues came from the relationships I got into after he left. But some people, they get trust issues, when they father leave, and they be like real suspicious, and like I said, emotionally distant, don't want nobody to get close to them, or if they get close to somebody, they're real clingy, real jealous, because they fear abandonment, etc., etc. So yeah. And then my last thing that I want to talk about is, like, because I talked about what it does to a person, and what it does to their relationship, what it does to you, and and what it does when you're trying to establish a relationship with somebody, or you're trying to establish a relationship with somebody that have daddy issues. These are some of the things that they are going through, or these are some of the things they are dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Which I said is something they should handle before getting into a relationship, but sometimes people think they handle it. Like I said, you get into a relationship and it triggers something. So, but heal first, ladies. If you find yourself doing any of these things, it's time for you to heal. And another big thing, like, if you a father, please, and you have a daughter or just a kid in general, please stay in their life. Please, please, please. Because even though, like, he left, okay, and I had all these issues and all these things that I had to overcome, and all these basically dominoes effects, because it happened after he left. I was good before, and boom, you know what I'm saying? So, and not even saying that, not saying that my mama wasn't a good parent or nothing. She was a good parent, but she had to establish her own, she had to rebuild. So that happened, he gone, she doing what she gotta do to get on her feet, and then that leaves me, somebody, a freshman in high school. You know what I'm saying? To kind of do whatever I want. So, but she did an awesome job at raising me. I'm not even discrediting her. I'm just saying what a lack of a father does. And that's just, that's just what happened. So I do want to touch on one thing, because if your father left, or even if he probably passed away, or just, gone, just not in your life no more, it's like, it hurts. Like, it be hurting, because you'll see people, that that do got their father in their life. So they father in their life to meet their boyfriends and threaten their boyfriends, even though it's not like, that's not cool. I'm just saying, like, that's there. They father in their life to take them, to send them off when they get married and stuff like that. So when you be seeing like that relationship that people have that you don't have, that be hurting, like. That be hurting, like, because I be seeing, you got your dad. You call up your dad when you need to get an oil change. You call up your dad when you need to change your tire. You call up your dad when you need to jump your car off, or when you just need some money, or whatever. Like, that be, and you can't do that, and you probably won't be able to do that. Like, that be hurting. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like some people actually luck up and get like a stepdad or something that take that place and really take that place. You know what I'm saying? And really show up and show out as a stepdad. But some people just don't get nothing. Like, just nothing. And then, I even tried to like reach out to my dad one time, like, just to try, even though I'm the kid, just to try and just be like, I don't want a relationship with you. I know we've been through this, but I do want a relationship with you. I want you to meet my boyfriend. I want you to walk me down the aisle. I want you to see these things, and when I decide to have my first kid, hold my grandchild, like, I want you to be there. So I tried. I did my part. I mean, he received it, but he didn't. Like, he heard me, but he didn't. Because we was cool, and then it'll be like, I feel like he only called when he needs something from me. Because, like I said, he incarcerated now. So, it's not much you can do from a jail cell, I know. But, I don't know. So, that's another thing I wanted to touch on. Is like, when you be seeing that, that be hurting. You be thinking about it like, dang, who gonna walk me down the aisle? I'm gonna have my brother walk me down the aisle. But, yeah. And then also, yeah, you just be longing for that void to be filled. And once you get to a certain stage, you're not gonna be trying to, use other men and other guys and people that you're in a relationship with to fill that void. It's just gonna be empty, and it's just gonna be there, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's not what I mean. That's what I mean by deal with it, but you're gonna have to take the steps, that you're gonna have to take to not get over it, but to just cope with it and cope. So you'll have to get to a certain point where you're not using the guys that you're in a relationship with. Why can I talk? You won't be using the guys that you are in a relationship with, and that you like talking to kind of fill that void. Because that's not healthy. That's unhealthy. And I'm kind of glad that I went through it so young. I'm kind of glad that I went through it when I was 13 and had to deal with it throughout high school. Because now I'm 19. I recognize, I know what I'm doing. I know what's unhealthy. I know, what I needed to fix. So I'm glad I kind of went through that young, because now I'm 19 and I know what's going on in my life. I know what's going on, but, some people don't, I'm not even going to say get the opportunity. Some people just don't recognize it right away, or, they don't realize it. They don't realize it right away. So, yeah. So enough about how it makes you feel and stuff like that. What can y'all do to deal with it? Let's talk about that. What did I do to deal with it? So, when everything was happening, I was in therapy for a while. I want to say for like a month or two. Then I stopped going. But the therapy really helped. I like therapy. I want to go back, but I just got to find another therapist. The therapy did help. But I feel like until you can get to a therapist or whatever, the best thing to do is to recognize it. Like, to recognize that you have these issues, to recognize that you have this attachment style, to recognize that you're having these issues and these problems. Because being aware and bringing self-awareness and being aware of what's going on is the first step. Because now I know I have a problem. This is what my problem is. What can I do to fix it? And then like just like anything that you lose, a relationship of a parent, whether they didn't actually pass, but you just like lost them in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like you lose anything else, you gotta mourn that loss. So you gotta realize, like, you know, this is what happened. This is not there no more. This is gone. You know, mourn that. Go through the anger. You could be angry. Go through the grief. You could be sad. I know I'm not angry no more because I got it off my chest. Like I said, I did tell him what's going on. From my point of view, from when I was 13, it was a nice long paragraph. So I'm not angry no more, but I do, you know, have some grief sometimes. I do be sad. So you gotta mourn that. Feel it. Every emotion. Feel it. And then, I don't know how long that's going to take. I can't tell y'all how long that's going to take. But like I said, once you recognize that you have a problem, once you recognize you have an issue, this is why you have this issue, because you're missing this and you're missing him and you're missing this void. Then you learn from your mistakes. You learn, okay, I got this issue, so I need to fix it. I do this. I'm too overly indulgent, so I need to dial it back a little bit. I'm using the guys I'm in a relationship with to fill that void, so I need to deal with that void myself so my boyfriend can be my boyfriend and not my father. You know what I'm saying? You know that you're emotionally distant, so you work on trying to connect with other people. You're suspicious, so you try to, I don't know how you would deal with that, but just try to, I guess, you know, take it one step at a time, let someone in very slowly, you know. You got a fear of abandonment. You need reassurance. Communicate that with your partner. Communicate that. Be like, I'm gonna need constant. And it's not a bad thing, because I need reassurance. So just being like, sometimes I need you to tell me that you love me more often, more than normal. Or sometimes I need to tell you that we gonna be together, or we in this together. It's me and you more than normal. Communicating, that's a need. That's not like a toxic behavior or anything. But a toxic behavior will be acting out because you need that reassurance. If you just tell them, I need this reassurance just so I can just be a little bit more comfortable, or just because I'm in my head, I'm overthinking a little bit. If you communicate that need and you have an understanding partner, there should be no reason why you're not getting that. So, you know what I'm saying? Once you recognize that you have these issues and how they're affecting your relationships and how you move in life, then you can, you know, once you recognize that, then you can learn from that, and you can make better, healthier choices. And it's gonna hurt, and you're gonna have to mourn that relationship, and you know, that void. Not saying it's gonna all. It's not. It's gonna be there. It's gonna always be there, because it's like, dang, my dad can't walk me down the aisle. But it's gonna get better eventually once you deal with it and cope with it. But yeah. So once you recognize what it is for what it is, and you recognize that, you know, you're a victim, and you recognize, you know, what's going on, that you do have these issues, then you can take the correct steps to solve them, whether that's therapy if you feel like you need it, or just trying to, you know, cope on your own, do whatever coping mechanisms and self-healing, self-journey you got to do. And you're going to have to just mourn that relationship. If it come back, it come back. Like in my case, if you get out of jail, then we'll see what happens. But, you know, until then, you just do your best to heal those wounds, and let your boyfriend be your boyfriend, not your dad, okay? So that's the end of this video. If you guys got daddy issues, let's take care of those problems. Let's take care of that, you know. Let's deal with that. So, as always, thank you guys for watching. I know this was a little heavy, you know, my mood wasn't up there. But thank you guys for watching, and tune in for more videos. Mwah.